Good morning, everyone. My name is Gerhan Adi Bilyasa, and today I'll be answering the question from Reading for Academic Purposes final test. First question. What is the title from the article? The title is Critical Digital Literacy EFL Students Ability to Evaluate Online Sources. Second, information. For the author is Sarah Silviani, Siti Huzaifa, and Ismet. B. Affiliation. The affiliation is Universitas Sriwijaya Indonesia. C. Corresponding emails. Here are the emails from one by one. You can see at the presentation. And name of the journal. And the journal name is Indonesian Journal of EFL and Linguistics. And journal volume is volume 6 and number 1. And year of publication is in 2021. And there's link of the journal you can see in the presentation. Number 3. Abstract information. The abstract states that the study investigates how 152 EFL students evaluate the credibility of online information and detected bias across 6 digital tasks, evaluating visual information, WhatsApp messages, comparing websites, distinguishing news from sponsored content, accessing YouTube video claims, and analyzing Instagram posts. Findings show students were easily deceived, especially by unsubstantiated claims in YouTube videos, and struggle with critical evaluation despite frequent social media use. The study calls for integrating critical digital literacy into language courses. Question number 4. Research objective and importance. The objective of the research is 1. To examine how English education measure evaluate an online critical literacy assessment. 2. To identify which task students found most challenging. And the important for the research is the research was crucial because misinformation, for example, during election and the pandemic, has become widespread, especially through platforms like WhatsApp, YouTube, and Instagram. In Indonesia, much information is translated from English, making it harder for locals to access credibility, despite heavy reliance on digital sources. Critical digital literacy is rarely taught in Indonesian education, creating a gap this study addresses. Question number 5. Difference from previous research. Previous study is McGrew et al. 2018, Metzger et al. 2003, focuses mainly on Western context or general digital literacy without targeting EFL learners in Indonesia. Earlier, Indonesian study examined non-digital critical literacy or fake news in Bahasa Indonesia. This research uniquely focuses on Indonesian EFL pre-service teacher evaluating English language online source across multimodal platforms, filling a contextual and linguistic gap. Number 6. 3 theoretical questions from experts in the introduction. First, Newman 2020. Over 72% of respondents received their emails from site door access. Example, social media, search engines. Lee, 2018, and Mark Farquhar, 2016. Social media criticized as fertile ground for the spread of fake news, especially during election periods. 3. Who, 2021, coined the term infodemic to describe misleading information that is as dangerous as the pandemic itself. Question number 7. Research method and rationale. The method that the researcher used is case study using a mixed methods approach, a quantitative analysis of response to the online critical literacy assessment, or OCLA, and qualitative focus group discussion. And the rationale, A case study was appropriate to deeply explore how a specific group, EFL pre-service teacher, performs in a real-world digital evaluation task. The mixed design allowed both performance measurement and insight into students' perception and strategies. 8. Research subject. The subject here is pre-service English teacher at the State University in Indonesia with 152 students characteristic. Sophomores, third semester, juniors, fifth, and seniors, seventh. Freshmen were excluded due to late program start caused by pandemic-related school closures. All were EFL learners, regularly using digital platforms, but not formally trained in critical digital literacy. Question number 9. Data collection and analysis. Here's data collection. Administered the online critical literacy assessment (OCLA) with 6 multimodal tasks. Conducted focus group discussion via Zoom with each cohort to gather perception on task difficulty and strategy. Data analysis. Quantitative. Frequency analysis of responses using a rubric: mastery, emerging, beginning, incorrect. Qualitative. Thematic analysis of focus group transcript to understand challenges and reasoning. Triangulation. Three researchers independently coded responses, describe discrepancies, resolved through discussion. Question number 10. Useful findings for English education students. As English education students, we often assume digital nativity equated to critical competence, but this study reveals a sobering gap. Despite daily engagement with social media, participants struggle to evaluate search credibility, especially on YouTube and Instagram, where emotional appeal and polished visual mask bias are falsehoods. Most relied on surface fixture, example, website design and personal knowledge, rather than interrogating authorship, funding, or evidence. This is crucial for future teachers. If we can model critical digital literacy, how can we teach it? The finding that students conflated official-looking accounts, example, verified Instagram profiles, with trustworthy content underscores the need to teach literal reading, checking external sources rather than trusting platform cues. Moreover, the inability to distinguish sponsored content from news in online magazine highlight how commercial interests blur informational boundaries. For us, integrating these skills into language classroom isn't optional, it's ethical. Since much academic and civic discourse now occurs digitally, and often in English, we must equip learners not just to comprehend, but to question who benefits from these messages. What's omitted is evidence variable. The study called to embed critical digital literacy into reading and writing courses resonates deeply. As future educators, we should design tests that mirror real world digital challenges, comparing sources, detecting bias, verifying claims, so our students become discerning and empowered citizens in an infodemic age. Digital fluency isn't about scrolling, it's about questioning. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.